Hello, Bengal Genius here. Well, kids are starving to death, dogs are dying because I'm avoiding all of them because I'm getting ready for the NFL draft and what the Bengals are going to do at the number 28 pick. All right. Now, of course, it's impossible to tell. You listen to Duke just like I did, but here's how I see it going down. Okay, Bengals value a cornerback. Cornerbacks and defensive ends, if you look at it, like last year in the draft, there was 4 cornerbacks taken, 4 defensive ends in the first round. Now, of course, it depends on what players are there, but passing is the new way in the NFL, so you gotta rush the quarterback and you gotta cover the wide receivers. So that's why they're a hot commodity right now. Their stock is up here. Compare that to a running back these days, man. A running back, that's brutal. I mean, I didn't even realize last year that there was only one running back selected I'm pretty sure, in the first 2 rounds. Can you believe that? I remember a time where we took Kajana Carter number 1 overall. Ugh. But now, how things have changed, so I think a lot of it, too. I heard there's this NFL draft guru legend. I'm forgetting his name right now. It's dropping right from my head. But he was talking about back in 1974 why they chose Randy White over I think his name's Gil Brandt, I think. But they chose Randy White over Walter Payton. You're going to have to Google them guys, kids, but they were dogs. And basically it was because of the longevity of the career, which I think happens to be the case now. The running back shelf life is so short that it seems like everyone is basically they're saying we'll just grab any running back we can and plug them in. So that's why all the talk about Joe Mixon restructuring his contract, because the Bengals really are one of the teams that we're one of the highest. We give the most money to running backs at our running back position. So most teams don't do that. So cornerbacks and defensive ends are at a premium, and obviously we need offensive linemen as always. But, of course, it's going to depend on who falls back to us. But I got to thinking about something, and this is going to be interesting. So, anyway, if you look on, like, FanDuel.com, for example, for betting, they're saying a tight end, number 1. No. We signed Irv Smith, and they just re-signed Drew Sample. They signed him to a 1-year deal. That tells me they are not going to go with a tight end at number 28. So we don't have a value of the position. So unless the Bengals will want a cornerback first, because Awuzie, who I expect to be back, but it's very difficult. It takes 2 years to be 100% from a torn ACL. So I wish him the best. That's my main man. But and then we didn't sign our boy. Jesus, man, I'm rusty here. Number 20, Eli Apple. So we're gonna have to add depth there. So cornerback will be the number 1, unless a defensive tackle. That's the wild card. I think a guy like Elijah Cansey, out of Pittsburgh. Now think about this. If you look, besides our offensive line not blocking, but it wasn't like they were just blocking some soft ass nobody. Aaron Donald and Chris Jones were killers, and that cost us both those games. Those guys were dominating. Now, we know we got Hendrickson, and we know we got Hubbard on the outsides, but we got nothing in terms of pass rushing up the middle. I mean, Osai's coming along, definitely. So what I'm saying is, don't be shocked if Elijah Cansey, or if they have a very highly rated defensive tackle, that they select him at 28, which, by the way, pays 10-1 on FanDuel. So that's something to look for. That's something to look for. But it's like Duke said, man. They do have a board and who they're gonna rank, in order. So that's what I expect. Man, I still, as always, I want to protect Joe Burrow, and I'm still holding out for. I still want Cody Mock. And maybe we can get him in the 2nd or 3rd round, but let's just see what offensive lineman is available there. You got to assume Skoronski out of Northwestern, Paris Johnson, they should be gone. You never know. Darnell Wright is a name I keep hearing going back and forth, but PFF blew him away in terms of being a run blocker. They said he's one of the worst they've graded in forever, but a lot of guys badmouth Orlando Brown Jr. coming out. You just don't know 100% how much work these guys are going to do. Some guys are going to suck. Some guys are going to be great. We all know that. So let's just sit tight and see what happens. But we're just going to have to – we're so close, though. And that's why a position those last two seasons I wasn't like, oh, if we only had a tight end. It's been, number one, protect goddamn Joe Burrow. And number two, maybe a defensive tackle up the middle, put a little heat. Nothing provides heat like that guy at the middle. Remember our beloved Geno Atkins? Oh, my God. Hall of Famer. That guy will be in the Hall of Fame. That guy was such a stud, man. But I miss that. I think that's something that we definitely could use on this team. And let's hold out and see what happens there. All right. Finally, lastly, I want to touch on this Joe Burrow Day. What should be Joe Burrow Day? Should it be December 22nd, where I flash back to, of course, the big game when Andy Dalton almost brought back the Bengals when they were losing to the Dolphins by, I believe, 18 points within like 5 minutes. It was insane. If they would have won that game, Miami Dolphins would have had that number one pick. Or the Redskins would have had the number one pick. Well, I'm sorry, Commanders. Or just play it nice and smooth. Make April 23rd Joe Burrow Day, because that's the day he was drafted. I don't know. Right now, Twitter's leaving heavily to April 23rd, so whatever. But after we win the Super Bowl, Governor, you got to get on that. I'm still debating, of course, smacking that dumb mayor around for his debacle last year's playoff game, the week of. Never forget that. What a maroon. But, all right, that's it. I'm going to have some more videos this week because getting back. Draft time. Let's go. All right. Be sure to subscribe. Let's go Bengals. Hooday. Talk to you soon.
Man, y'all need to start tuning in to the YouTube channel, The Bengals Genius Show.